Hey folks, this is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. Hope you're having a good day today. Say hi, dear.
Hi.
I don't think they hurt. Yeah. Anyway, well, today is moving day and we're all hooked up and everything here, and we thought we'd go through a few little things with you, how we go about getting everything packed in the trailer ready for transport. So we're going to start with the van, and then I'll meet Deb at the back door of the trailer here in just a little bit, and then she can kind of help us with that, okay? All right, so I'm going to start with the van. Now, the first thing that I do on the van and the trailer both is I check the air pressure on all the tires before I do anything. And right now, I'm experimenting with it. These are a 10-ply rated tire. I just got them, and I'm experimenting with running around 70 pounds in those. I'm going to be monitoring the tread wear and see how that goes. Now for the trailer, right now I'm running 60 pounds each in each of these tires. These are the tires that came with it when we got it from the manufacturer. I will be upgrading to a 8-ply rated tire very soon, as soon as the funds come available. But for now, we're keeping an eye on the tires real close, and so far the tread wear is very, very even, but they don't have very many miles on them anyway. I bet we're doing good to have 2,000 miles on it so far, and that includes the trip back from Georgia when we bought the trailer. And I also have airbags on the back of the van, and when I'm running normal, I have airbag springs on the back of the van. And normal running, when I'm not hauling a trailer, I run 10 pounds in each bag, and the air valves are on the back of the bumper. Hopefully someday I can afford to upgrade to an onboard system, but for now I have to do it manually. And what makes that really nice and convenient, which we've talked about before, is I have my compressor sitting right here, and I can reach every tire and everything that I need from the compressor right here. You'll notice that everything is in its place. Our auxiliary tanks are in their place. We've got all of our other paraphernalia up here. Everything is ready to be, the doors are ready to be shut, and we're ready to go down the road. Now, when I'm hauling the trailer, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but when I do hook up to the trailer and head down the road, I bring the airbags up to around 20 pounds. I've been experimenting with that, but so far 20 pounds seems to be just about perfect everywhere. So anyway, now we're going to move to the back of the trailer and show you how we have everything packed back there. You sure are pretty this morning, dear.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to tell your wife at least once a day how pretty they are. That's all there is to it. Yeah. It can help. Really can. All right. So here in the back, this is where we haul the bicycles. Now, for now, we are going to be getting a bike rack that mounts on the tongue jack up front called a Jacket bike rack. They're available at eTrailer.com and also available on Amazon. But for now, we're hauling the bikes back here. And the way we have to do it to make them fit, of course, we turn them upside down onto their handlebars, and we pop off the quick release front tires, and they're carried in there, and then we pack things around it so that they won't slide around. But so far we haven't had any issues with them sliding around at all, have we?
Nope.
No, not at all. And up there, if you'll notice, I'm right above you, dear, so don't rise up and bump into me. We've got our bungee cord stretched across all of our containers that we carry in the shelves up on top. You can see the bungee cords stretched on top. And then we also have the bungee cord stretched over all of the containers over here on this row here. The refrigerator, the way I mounted it in there, it is in there firmly in place, and the doors have child locks over, and I don't know if you're seeing that or not because I can't tell, but there's child locks right there, and those hold those doors shut. We've never had an issue at all with that at all. So and then of course we rigged up this deal where we have a board that lays in front of these drawers, and then we have a bungee cord that stretches across that board and hooks on either side, and that keeps them drawers from sliding out.
And then the shelves.
And then of course the shell. Oh yeah, and we've got these what are those deals, dear?
Little tension rods.
Little tension rods that we stretch across these shelves here to hold everything in place there, and they work real good, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes. They work real good. And there's a set of shelves underneath the bar over there, and we have tension rods across those as well. So that all works really, really well. All right, now we're going to head up to the front. right?
Yep.
All right. It's a beautiful morning, by the way. Beautiful morning. Okay. Up here, it'll be a little easier to see everything up here. Deb handles all the packing inside while I do all the setup outside. Now, if you remember, we have a 50-inch flat screen TV that mounts right here. Well, it's here laying on the bed, and she covers it up with blankets and everything to make sure it's well protected. Have not had any issues whatsoever. Her peacock that she has hanging on the wall, of course, she takes it down. And here again, you can see where we have the bungee cords stretched across all the containers here and right there. Now, these particular containers here, that is on my side of the bed, we haven't had any issue with them moving at all. So we just leave them right where they are. There's no problem at all.
We put they can't go because
right.
we have a lip.
They can't go because we have a lip.
They can't go this way because we have another lip.
And they can't go that way because of another lip. So they're pretty much in there. Yeah, they're pretty much in there.
The ones above there,
yeah,
I put another tension rod.
Right. You have another tension rod right there that keeps those in place. So we have no issues with that. Now, I carry 3 concrete blocks with me, and I use them for a variety of things. Use them for wheel chocks. Sometimes I have to put one under the tongue, but I know there's lighter ways to go and different ways to go with that. But the concrete blocks is what we're using for now. And quite honestly, by carrying them up front the way we do, they add just enough on the tongue to make everything just perfect. Now, eventually, now I'll step out here, and I bumped my head. We've talked about them short doors before, haven't we, dear?
Numerous times.
I've uttered a few colorful metaphors from time to time. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, what I do intend to do eventually is where this platform is up here, Tractor Supply just happens to have a tongue mount toolbox that will fit perfectly there, and it too is diamond plate. So I'm going to put that there, and then of course we're going to get the jacket bike mount that'll mount around the tongue, and the bikes will be right there. Now once we do that, we'll be shifting a little more weight forward, and we won't be hauling the concrete blocks up in the nose. But for right now, by putting the concrete blocks where we do, everything balances out just perfect. Everything balances out just perfect. Now, one thing I did forget to mention, and Deb reminded me, one thing, let me step back in there for a second, dear. Step back in here. We have an electric hot water tank, and of course this is where the panel is. Now the hot water tank is below the vanity. It's mounted right down in there is where it's at. It's a 6-gallon Rheem, regular point of use house type electric hot water tank, and quite honestly we absolutely love that thing. We can go from dead cold water to hot enough water to take 2 showers within 20 to 25 minutes. So that's pretty cool. It heats water up that quickly. What we always do though, and we do travel with the basic pipes and the hot water tank full of water, we can drain the entire water system down if we need to. But I go ahead and travel with the hot water tank full of water. So I'm only talking 6 gallons plus maybe another gallon or so that's in all of the plumbing and all the pipes. And we always, before we leave, we always kill, and this is the breaker right there for the hot water tank, but we always kill the breaker to the hot water tank, because what we don't want to happen, what we don't want to happen is when we get to our new place where we're setting up, we don't want to turn on the power and maybe for some reason the hot water tank drained down, and then we turn on the power and all of a sudden the hot water tank kicks on and the heating element in there is running dry. So that's not a good thing. So what we always do is kill the hot water tank before we leave. We make sure that it's off before we ever leave. And then when we hook up to water or fill our freshwater tank or whatever we're going to be doing once we get to where we're going, we make sure that the entire water system is pressurized before we turn our hot water tank on, just to be sure that that hot water tank is totally full of water. Okay. One of the last things we do that we always do as we step out, we always come over to the master switch on the 12-volt system, and we kill the entire 12-volt system right there. And that's just a good practice to get into. What I don't want to happen is if we happen to have a wire start chafing. For some reason, I was very, very careful when I wired everything. I was very, very careful when I ran all the wiring to make sure that I wouldn't have places where the wire could be rubbing against this or that and maybe cause one to rub through. But just to be on the safe side, we always go ahead and kill the 12 volt master switch. And that way, if anything like that was to happen, we wouldn't be looking back through a rearview mirror and see something on fire. That's the last thing we want to happen. All right, so the very last thing that we do, we always carry both of the steps, this step and that step. We always stack it right there, just inside the door, and they stay in place with no problem. What we have found that is everything rides really, really well. In fact, I'll mention this right quick. On our last trip, we left laying right there. We left a camera mount laying right there. We intended to grab it before we locked the doors, but we forgot to get it. And when we got to where we was going, and that was about a 100-mile trip, it was laying exactly where it was before and didn't move at all. So everything rides really, really well. We don't have things sliding around or anything like that. All right. So all we have left to do, and there's no need for you to see that part, is we're going to go ahead and set these steps up inside there. We're going to make sure the doors are locked, and then we're going to be pulling off of our blocks and throwing them in the back of the van, and we're going to head on to our next destination. So y'all take care, and this is Bill and Deb. I better step over here. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Delilah. Got to talk about Delilah. She's in her little carry case. Yeah, and she's not happy. Are you not happy?
I know.
Yeah, it's rough, isn't it? We try to take her out of it while we're traveling, and
Doesn't work.
she doesn't work. She tries to get away and run up underneath the dash, and we can't have that. But she's getting better. She's getting a whole lot better, and eventually she'll get to where we can take her out, and Deb can hold her on her lap or something like that. But for right now, we just have to put up with a little bit of discontent for just a little while, and then she settles right down and goes ahead and takes a nap. All right, so we're going to finish packing the rest of this stuff up, and we're going to get on down the road, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Y'all take care. And remember, folks, Deb.
We're not camping, we're living.
Exactly. We're not camping, we're living. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.